When you as a marketer are working with someone, they need to know that you believe that their company has what it takes to succeed. And that can't happen when you're saying, look at me and how cool I am. That happens when you say, look at what you've done and look at where we can go next.
Today, we have a very unique guest with a track record of amazing entrepreneurial and marketing successes, working with some major brands across various different industries and verticals. Today, I'm talking with Adi Soozin, best-selling author, managing partner at Heritage Real Estate Fund, and overall hugely accomplished marketer. Welcome to the show, Adi.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, this will be fun. I want to start with, if you will let me, I want to start with your LinkedIn. Okay, so I'm looking at your LinkedIn bio, and I'm just going to read as much as I can get through this without boring people because it's so much, right?
No, maybe I should just caveat this. So people started claiming I was on the board of their organizations, that I was speaking at their events and doing all these crazy things. And they were using that to get other people to go to their events. So I used to keep my LinkedIn very bare so people could just see highlights.
Yeah.
And we had to get to this point with the way we addressed fake news is by putting everything on there. So it's now like a tome of information.
I love it. Well, we're going to hit some high points because this is going to be a good backdrop for people, to hear this conversation. So snapshot, and you're right. Those wanting a snapshot of what this type A workaholic has achieved outside the real estate world. Youngest marketer to be selected to manage the entire Apple sales channel. Yeah. At Apple, I broke a marketing record set by Steve Jobs, which is pretty amazing. Grew an international fashion company by more than 4,200% in just 9 weeks. Grew a bootstrap startup's idea on paper to more than 108 million in less than 5 years. Amazing. Optimized a 100-plus-year-old international organization's social media, 40 posts with on and on, all the engagements, impressions, etc. Built an international media company to stream on 8+ platforms, international software company, and the list goes on and on. Yeah. So it's amazing, first of all, okay? But when I'm looking at this and saying, okay, what's the pattern? The thread through all of this that I see is an accomplished marketer who understands how to take new ideas and take them to market or take products to market. Would you say that's pretty accurate, or how would you describe the thread through your career so far?
So I grew up with parents that were entrepreneurs and always building businesses.
Yeah.
And the weird thing is, most people think that I walk in and I have a vision for a path. But when I walk in, I actually see a puzzle and it's missing pieces.
Love it.
So when with Apple, my boss flew down from Germany and he was like, what did you do? And I was like, well, I just put the things in place that were missing. And he was like, it's Apple. What was
what's missing? Exactly.
And I was like, well, you weren't incentivizing the Salesforce with what they actually wanted. You didn't optimize the supply chain as efficiently as you could have. You didn't communicate when we're low on inventory and things so that people come and buy it. And you didn't have the promotions aligned with the local payment cycle. So when people would get paid a day or two before, I would make sure that Apple's at the front of their mind. So if they were into a certain sports team, we would say oh, you can have the Apple TV streaming whatever you want to watch from your favorite sports team to your TV. Or not the Apple TV, the Apple Mini. Yeah. So you can turn your TV into a computer and you can watch any sports team anywhere in the world. So we would, so those are some of the things.
So that specifically says to me that you went into the dark alley that Apple didn't really knew it had to find a market that was untapped.
Yeah.
And you tapped that market, so the success is skyrocketed because you didn't have to really touch all the normal levers that all the things you mentioned is what a typical marketer would do. Yeah. You didn't have to do that because you went somewhere no one was at.
Yeah. So I try to see what's missing, what they're doing that's not present. I did grow up in a huge family. I'm the middle of 80 across 5 generations. So I think something that's been huge with every time I've done a go-to-market strategy is I'm studying the people and the landscape of the humans, the people around me first. What do they need and how do they want that presented to them? Because a lot of people, when they get into marketing, they think their job is to demand that you buy something. It's like, no, you
Right.
can't force anyone to do anything. You don't own anyone. They don't owe you anything to buy this. You have to figure out, what do they want, and how is what you're selling going to help them get there? And then you communicate it to them that way. So marketing is really like a service, like think of yourself as like a translator between a product and a person, like translating between two different languages.
That's a great way to describe it. And I've thought of it that way a lot, because with marketing, it's about message, and it's about communicating that message, in a way that makes sense. So translating is the best analogy. So you're saying so let's take, for example, you go into a new space, and where do you start when you say, look at understanding the people? Where do you start? Do you start with like a simple data demographics, run, or do you look at cultural, colloquialisms? Like what does that look like?
So I follow the 80-20.
Okay.
80-20 principle. You have to figure out who your target market is first. And like who you have the easiest access to.
Yes. Okay. So
some people are like, oh, I'm launching something and I want to reach out to those people. I'm like, do you know 10 influencers in that those people respect? And they're like, no. Like, well, which influencers do you know? They're like, oh, people over here. It's like, okay, so we go where you have your most powerful contacts first, and we make them your brand ambassadors.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we get them to get their people hyped up. And that's how you see fast growth. So for example, with Molo 9, with my software, I had people that wanted to know how I did what I did marketing wise. So I sold these playbooks and I sold them to 300 people, but I went to a startup accelerator WhatsApp community.
Okay.
They were ecstatic. They were like, those are the people that literally want these playbooks. Yes. I didn't go to like a library and start a book club. I went to like you go to where the people are hungry. Like you go to the starving audience. Like, do you remember the analogy that Russell
Branson?
Is that Russell Branson? Is that the
Virgin? The Virgin CEO?
No. What's the one?
Oh yeah, you're talking about Russell Branson. Is the ClickFunnels.
ClickFunnels guy.
Yeah.
So he has this. He said, "What do you need to sell the most hot dogs? You need a hungry audience."
Right.
So you want to figure out where your hungry audience is, but you want to figure out where they are and that they're going to buy what you're selling. So if you have hot dogs and a starving vegan audience, they're not buying your hot dogs.
No way.
So you want to you use hyper connectors. I use informants. I use influencers a lot. I've started doing a lot with building communities. And then finding benefit that way. And communities are an interesting one. They only work if you're highly curated and exclusive.
Okay. Yes. All right.
Because remember, like communities used to be a huge thing, and it was super inclusive, and everyone could join.
Yeah. Then it becomes diluted.
And there's spam, and people leave, and the high quality people you want to speak to leave. So I've been finding a lot of benefit lately with creating communities that are exclusive to a specific niche of like people who are super passionate about this thing.
And are you talking about like for that specifically? Are you talking about people passionate about, let's say, a product or inventing or more like role specific?
So,
or anything, I guess it could be all of them.
Sorry. For example, like with Apple, going after the sports aficionados. Okay. That's a cult group. That's a cult. Yes. They're like a cult. Like, completely. Yeah. I'm not a sports aficionado. Right. I look at where Super Bowl is and I make sure I'm never in that city when it's happening.
Yes. Amen to that.
Yeah. So I think the same with marketing anyways, like anywhere you think about, you're not looking at the demographic data and saying, okay, I'm going to make a message that makes everyone here like this. Yeah. You look at the demographic data and you say, where are the most passionate people that will be the fastest to adopt this? And even if it's a small group, like the world is flat now. So you no longer have to say, like with Apple, we were constrained to that physical location. So I had to use the sports teams and things like that. But with other companies, it's who are the passionate people and where do I find them online? So the online accelerators for Molo 9. For my book, I already had a platform. So we were able to just market it to my following. And then I was able to go to a few events where people respected and valued me, and they made sure that everyone knew that the book was a bestseller and they had to buy it immediately on Amazon.
Yeah.
But yeah, does that kind of...
It does. Yeah. And so to me, what I'm gathering from this, like kind of broadly, is network, looking at the network that exists and what maybe, burning red hot node of that network that you can go after and say, hey, if we introduce these people, and there may be 5 people or 500 people, then they're likely to spread this through the network.
Yes, exactly. Like, who are the people that are going to not just buy your product, but then tell everyone? My friends and I were at this, there were a bunch of events for the UN General Assembly in New York City last week.
Yeah.
So we all flew in for those. And we ended the night with pancakes because that's what you do in New York. And
yes. Oh, one of the many awesome things you do in New York.
So 5 a.m. we had to go to every single person's after party. And like 4 a.m. this young Ukrainian guy comes up and he's like, I want to hang out with your group. And I was like, okay, well, we're going to this diner next. If you find us, you can come hang out with our group.
That's amazing. Yeah.
I didn't know that he was a Ukrainian battalion commander.
Oh gosh, so he found you. He's like, that's easy. That's what I do for my job.
Yeah. He was like 4 seconds. It was like an intellectual I was like, yeah, this guy will never find us. Look him up.
Amazing.
He comes in 20 minutes after we sit down, we're ordering our coffee or food, whatever. He comes in, sits down, and he had this pin supporting Ukraine. And I was like, I'll wear that to investor meetings if you find us. He was like, okay. He comes in, sits down, puts the pin on my shirt.
Oh, wow.
And then it turned out he was like a huge fan of my book.
Okay.
So at the end of the evening, I signed the book and I gave it to him. Well, it's a 450-page book. He read 150 pages by the next evening.
Oh, wow.
And he was telling everyone and showing everyone that I signed it. Like
now we're into some sticky territory. Right now we're sort of like borderline stalker, and I say that like of concern for you, but also I say it as a learning, lesson of what you're teaching us is that you kind of actually want these very passionate people. No, am I on the right track here?
I would say, okay, so we met him at a gated party.
Okay.
Where it was like only finance investors were allowed in.
Okay.
So it wasn't like a random crazy stalker on the street where I'm like buying a pizza.
Hey, maybe he's next level stalker. You never know. I mean,
no, because I've had those and they're not fun. That's why we have a Belgian Malinois.
That's amazing.
We have people joke when they come to our house. It's Fort Knox. We have a Belgian Malinois. We keep like a taser in the car. Like we have all that stuff for like the crazy stalkers. We met this guy at a finance event. He referenced that he worked with a few of like the top politicians that are in the same bubble. So he was like, oh, I want to sit with you guys. And it was like, okay, you made it into an event where the tickets were like $3,200 a piece. So obviously like you're from a good, and it turned out he had a law firm and.
Well, this is interesting because this goes straight to your point about exclusivity, creating demand, and people want that. And so that event, is you're on the other side, consumer side, essentially of that principle. So I think it's playing out in meta right now.
Yeah. So I was invited to that event as an influencer on the influencer side. I was not invited. I didn't pay the $3,200 that he did.
Sure. Well, either way, I mean, it doesn't really matter at that point. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was at this event like as like a respected person, and then when he got his chance to pitch and then name drop, and then it was like, okay, we're going to another after party. You can come there. So yeah, that's right. We should unpack this more because it did sound like super stalker crazy at first.
It did, yeah. But but what I take from it, because again, to the nature of this show, it's like exploring these ideas is like I take from it a lesson to learn because while you don't want to end up a murder statistic, of course. There is something to this sort of psycho behavior, and I'm not talking to criminal, mind, but like that's what I would put it when I talk about this like red hot node. You're looking for those people who are psychologically passionate, like they're overly passionate about this thing, because when you connect and align in the right way, they're going to take your stuff to all their people.
Yeah. And I guess we should unpack this even more. I do not encourage you to collect stalkers. They are not fun.
No.
They are very dangerous. I've been poisoned twice this year.
Oh my
I
gosh.
was with a large group of very well-connected, very safe people. So there was like zero risk. He came into an event and he flew in from Ukraine for UNGA.
Yeah.
UNGA is a very expensive week to attend in New York City.
Yeah.
So if you're there, it's because you work for one of the prime ministers, you own a law firm, or you own a hedge fund with hundreds of millions in AUM. Right. So it was not meeting a random stranger at a bar and sharing our location. No. It was it was a group of like the best of the best, hyper influential people around the world all flew in for this 1 week of events. So we should unpack that for everyone. Do not like reward stalkers. That's not a good idea.
Way. No way.
Dead. But so there was like a lot of like backstory to it. But the point that I wanted to make about a super fan is like when you sign a book for a super fan, they make sure that like 10 to 100 other people buy that book.
Right.
Like I met there was a gentleman I met at another event that he invested in the first 2 rounds of OpenAI. And he asked for a copy of my book, and I was like, well, I have to bring this one to another event. So I'm sorry, I can't give it to you. And then the other event was, again, like very exclusive, very small group. You have to have a certain amount of assets under management or be an influencer of some sort, best-selling. Like you have to have done something
sure.
to earn your way into the
price of entry. Yeah.
Yeah. So he came to the second event, and I was like, how'd you get in here? And he was like, well, I invested in the first 2 rounds of OpenAI. And I was like, okay, you can have a copy of my book.
You can have my book. Yeah.
I showed it to everyone. Everyone got they took their picture with me in the book. They ordered the book on Amazon. And then I signed that copy and gave it to him. And then he brought it with him. Like the guy lives on an airplane because he's investing in tech startups everywhere. Sure. And he flew with it everywhere and was like showing it to everyone. So those are the hyper like passionate fans that like, they're not crazy. They just really like your book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're passionate in their own little world that they live in. And, it reminds me of Seth Godin's, I think he wrote a book about building tribes. So there's a whole sort of philosophical thinking about, tribe building. But I bought one of his more recent books, I guess 5-6 years ago, on branding. I think I have it. It's called This Is Marketing.
And I see it. Isn't it on the top shelf?
It's like the little orange book.
Yeah.
And so I kind of went down the rabbit hole. I Seth Godin fan, maybe second, third tier of his fandom. And
I'm a major fan.
I went down that rabbit hole, and I learned that he has a very, I say a smaller, probably thousands, like I'm guessing 2,000 to 3,000, 4,000 people who are part of his sort of founders club, or, whenever he launches a book, that he launches it to them essentially. And they buy it, en masse. They'll buy, 10 to hundreds of books at one go. And so I bought a lot of books, and I bought them to give away to clients and just, for prospecting different things. And what's cool is I got kind of immersed a little bit in that world and that thinking. And what came with it were like 10 other covers that he had designed that were, slated to be used for the book, but they weren't. So you have the actual cover, and then they have all these other cover designs that were printed and put it in the box with all the books. So plus all the like virtual meetups and online kind of, community type stuff that you're part of this group. And I just thought like that was very impressionable for me. I mean, I think it's one thing in a microcosm, you have him as an author selling books. It makes a lot of sense, but I think that this can easily parlay to other industries and spaces where when you're launching something, coming back to this idea of go to market, when you're launching something, getting it in the hands of the people who are most likely to care first is going to be your first and best motion, because they're going to take it to the next tranche of people who care.
Yeah. And what is it? Word of mouth marketing has like a 90% conversion rate.
Yes.
Whereas like everything else has like 2%, 30%, like 20%, like it's all over the map between 125 different acquisition channels. Yeah. So word of mouth marketing, if you can leverage that one first, we were talking about this before the recording, the go-to-market strategy that I use is number one, finding that early adoption tribe that's super passionate, putting all of your marketing material together to speak specifically to them, and then equipping them to promote your brand.
That is genius, because as you're saying that, I'm thinking you are you're de facto creating an exclusivity, therefore demand for your brand and your product and your idea by making it only for these people, because now they have and you're giving them the tools, which is the beautiful part, to share it amongst the world, to that second, third tier of people. But you've created demand for the second, third tier by only making it for this community. But you made it for a community who loves that you made it for them, and they want to love to share it. So there's a lot of psychology wrapped up in that. I love it.
Yeah. So for example, with the playbooks that I have, I'm like, I created them for marketers. And then when non-marketers look at those playbooks, I'm like, get your marketer to implement this for you. They're like, oh, I don't know how to do this part. And I was like, who's the marketer that told you about this playbook? That's what they're going to do for you. Like, you can hire our team, but we have like a backlog of 8 months, or you can hire the person who brought you in and they can do it for you right now. Like it essentially created, it also simplified, whether or not I intended it to from the beginning, it simplified the working conversation between marketers and non-marketers, because non-marketers are able to now open the playbook and say, okay, I need that. And then the marketer's like, I got you.
I love it. So let's go back to your book, because we were just talking about that. When you launched your book, I think you said you already had the platform because you already had your following. Yeah. So that's not the best example. What's another project you worked on where you implemented this methodology, where you said, hey, I'm going to you're putting the puzzle pieces together, which is totally the way my brain works. But as you're putting the puzzle pieces together and you start to go to market, where's a project that you worked on that you used this network effect and sort of exclusivity effect, and you found success? Because the book thing is like, you had a built-in audience, which is essentially the same thing, but you built the audience prior. Whereas if you didn't, I guess what I'm asking is where you didn't have an audience and you kind of came in and you're like, I have to figure out who the audience is. And you started from there.
So anytime I have not had an audience built in, I either figured out a way to build the audience, or I found someone who had that audience and I split the revenue with them. I see. Okay. So with AppSumo, the deal I had with them is if I brought my followers to their platform to buy my software, I got 90% of the sale because they were getting a new customer for their marketplace. But if they brought me the customer and it was a customer already in their database, then they got 50 or like 60% of the sale. And so I was using their platform, and they were, and I'm doing something similar right now. There's an event group that they want my connections to be their audience for their events. So they're paying me, whereas usually like a speaker fee is around like $30,000. They're paying me $120,000, and they're calling it a speaker's fee, but essentially I'm bringing in the sponsors that they don't have access to. I'm bringing in the audience they don't have access to. I'm bringing in the high level speakers that they don't have access to. And so there's another person who wanted me to do the same exact thing for her, but do it for free. Yeah. And so you notice like people who split the pie, they just grow so much faster because to them, they're like, okay, we're going to realistically need to depend on Adi for 3, 4, 5 events before we have our whole database. So I know that after 5 or 6 events, they're going to be doing this on their own because I've brought my whole network to them and they're running these events, and my speakers fee will go down. And then I'll have to find someone else who wants to, So it sounds like you're another way to say it would be partnerships. Like in one way I'm thinking about it as marketplaces, because there might be literally a marketplace like the AppSumo type of thing, but then the partnerships is more a relationship or an influencer. But is that the right thinking, is like
finding partners who already have an in that market and building a relationship with them.
Oh, that's the easiest way to do it. That's such an easy way to do it. Like, I remember you told me you have siblings, but can you remind me, were they older or younger than you?
I have 2 older and 2 younger.
Oh, wow. Big family. Okay.
Yeah. Not as big as yours by any.
So when you have an older sibling that goes to the teacher and like does really well in that class, and then you come through that same class, the teacher's so much nicer to you.
As long as they treated the teacher well, yes.
Yeah. So like, I loved my chemistry and physics and human anatomy and physiology teachers when I was in high school. When my brother went through, they rolled out the red carpet for that kid, and he had not earned it.
Yes,
he had not done anything. And he would call me all the time. He's like, Mrs. Bagini and Mr. Frederick, say hi. Like, in college. And he's like, they love me, and they give me the royal treatment, and they're always asking how you're doing. And he was not a science person at all. Like, he could have taken electives in like business, but he chose to, or engineering or whatever, but he chose to take science electives because he knew those teachers loved me. And so they'd give him better grades, so he'd have to work less.
Oh my gosh. It's like a second generation sibling.
Yeah, exactly. Well, so that's the benefit you have when you have a strategic partner is they go in and they say, hey, this event is great. There was an event I actually walked out of because they breached multiple parts of the contract. And and then when I walked out, they ended up having to cancel it because the way they got all these people to speak on the panels was they had me speaking at the event.
Mm-hmm.
And
so
then they
like
told all these people, look, Adi's very picky. She's very picky with the events she goes to. She's very picky with the audiences that she networks with, just like for security reasons. Like that's like one of the reasons. So they were able to get all of these prestigious people to agree to speak at this event simply because I had signed on with them. So because I have this reputation where I'm not involved, if someone's involved in like public scandal or like scams or anything like that, I'm not touching it. Yeah. And then if people are going to have high quality people at the event, I know that I'm heavily impacted by whoever I surround myself with. So I have to be very careful who I surround myself with. Like some of us are just, we take on the energy and the personality of whoever we're around with. So you have to So when I agreed to speak at this event, then all these other people in this same bubble were like, oh, well, if she's agreeing to speak at that event, it must be a good event. So then they agreed to speak at it. And then when they breached 3 parts of the contract all within one day, and I said, I'm sorry, like, I don't do this. This is too much for me. I stepped back. Then I was like, you guys can still have a great event. And some people were like, well, if you're not on the panel, I don't want to be on the panel. And I was like, no, do it. It'll still be fun for you. By the end of the day, everyone had left. Yeah. And that's the power of like, it's not like I wanted their event to crash. It's that's the power of like, if you have a specific reputation, those are the doors that you can open for people. So and it's, so, I mean, you can find people who are influential within your space. They've earned the trust of everyone that follows them. Yes. And you get to benefit from that instead of having to build all of that trust yourself from scratch.
So let me ask you this, like 2 sides of the same coin. One, because you have experienced both sides to some degree, but people looking to you to partner and be the influencer, probably more so than you looking to someone to partner and be the influencer. But on both sides, what is it like? Like what's sort of your approach when you're reaching out to start this process of connecting with an influencer or a partner, potential partner? And how do you go about opening that conversation? And then I guess the same other side of the coin is like, what do you like when someone's reaching out to you asking for partnership?
So you have to keep in mind that people who are getting reached out to and asked to do partnerships, like you're sending your first one and they're receiving their 100th one. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to send, like I've had people say, okay, I'll give you like 3% to promote this to everyone. And it's like, why would I take a 3% when this group just offered me 50%? Yeah. Like, you have to show them that it's going to be worth their time and energy. So with the group that's paying me the $120K for their events, I'm promoting it to my following. I'm basically doing all this marketing for them as well. And then this other group, wanting me to do all of that for them for free, like it's a no-brainer. And then there was a third group that came in that said, hey, we're going to pay you like 48,000 instead of 120,000. And it's like, okay, but I'm not giving you this level of, like, I'm not promoting you as heavily.
Sure.
Because I only have so many hours in a day. So
the burden is not as great, maybe.
Yeah. If you're going to be paying a lower amount, I'm giving more of my time and energy to the people who are paying a higher amount for a longer period. Like, it's just basic math. It's also ethical. Like, if someone's paying you more for your time and they're giving you way more in terms of support in order to get your job done fast with promoting them, like, hey, I need these assets to post on social media, and they give it back to me by the end of the day. Hey, I need this agenda to give to social media, and they give it back to me, and I can share it with that following. Like, when they make it easy for you to partner with them, like, everyone wins, right?
Sure.
Now,
at the end of the day, it's not all about dollars and cents. I'm sure there's times where you've done stuff for free or for a lot lower fee because the alignment was there in terms of what you're getting back, maybe not directly in a check, but you're getting, in some other way because it's more of a true partnership, longer term. Have you found that?
Yeah. So I have the real estate fund.
Yes.
With that, there are some people who have reached out and they invited me to speak at their events. And for their events, they don't allow anyone in the room with less than 100 million in AUM. So it's all true end investors.
Yes.
So when they have me speaking at one of their events about real estate, the value for me is so obvious. But then I've had other people ask me to speak at their event and they claim it's going to be a room full of investors. And I stepped off stage and I was asked to give people a job and I was asked to look at deals. There was not a single investor in the room. Yeah. So that's why the speaker's fee, I think, just kind of protects you from that.
For sure.
That is one thing. But with strategic partnerships, it depends. I mean, some strategic partnerships are really easy. They're like, hey, can we send you some swag to wear to the gym? Yeah, sure. I go to the gym every morning. I don't care whose t-shirt I wear. Like, hey, can we send you a supplement? Well, I've been poisoned a few times, so you can send me a gift card and I'll buy the supplement anonymously.
Yeah.
And then I can tell people about it if it's good.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's varying levels.
Life lessons.
Yeah.
Life lessons from Adi.
Don't get poisoned. Don't get stalked.
Yeah. That's amazing.
But the other, there's different levels of commitment. Like, one of my mentors, when he wrote a book, he sent me a copy before anyone else. So then I took pictures of it and I sent it to everyone and I read it and it was like, this is my review. Let me know if you want to post it online. Like, so, but you have like varying levels of commitment. Like, and it was a book on a topic I wanted to read. Now, if someone wants me to read and promote a book on a topic I have zero desire to read, I'm not doing that for free.
Yeah, makes total sense. One thing I wanted to maybe drill in a little bit about some of your experiences is your approach to creating content. Because a lot of, whether it's a book or whether it's social media or a product you're taking to market, it's going to require quality content that can translate that message. So how do you approach creating and utilizing content?
So we live in like a really, really, really unique like time in history that I think psychologists will really enjoy ripping apart for centuries afterwards. Because with these social media ranking algorithms, they have you so highly targeted and segmented that everything you look at speaks so uniquely to you. So with your content that you're creating for people, you can't come out with vague messaging anymore. You have to speak very uniquely to people. So they feel like the ad is written for them. Yes. And we have enough humans on the planet buying in enough markets that you can write something that speaks so uniquely to one archetype and then expect much better conversions. And then you write another string of content. Like, people are like, oh, I only need one 90-day content calendar. Yeah. But on repeat. It's like, well, if you only have one target market, sure. But if you have multiple target markets that you're going after, you need one funnel with one market. Like you need one social media profile for each target market.
Mm-hmm.
You need one funnel that's taking each target market through the journey to all buy the same product.
Yeah. It's like I think about it in narrative, the narrative you're speaking to, like when I talk to my brother versus when I talk to a friend versus when I talk to a colleague, I'm saying similar things, but I'm saying it in very different ways.
Yeah.
Right.
When you're telling your children, Thanksgiving, it's completely different than how you would tell your grandmother to get ready for Thanksgiving dinner.
Right.
You tell one to put their shoes on and find their socks. And you're telling the other, would you like to sit here or would you like to sit here? Can I get you a drink? What would you like to drink?
Yeah. I mean, it depends on how old your grandmother is. You could be telling her to put her shoes on. I'm just saying, her spilling her coffee everywhere,
Yeah.
Well, so authenticity is huge. And I hear that a lot too. Because I think you're right that making that connection and translating your message in terms of who's listening to it or reading it or consuming it. You mentioned something when you first met about content that I wanted to remind you so you could expand on. This is this idea of being the side character.
Yeah.
Yeah. Explain what you mean.
Okay. So what you want to think about when you have a business, you want to think about your business offering solutions to people as like a tool in their journey, right? Mm-hmm. So the Yeti microphone, like this is not a main character. This is a tool in my journey. Your microphone, it's a tool that's helping you to get somewhere. Yeah. So when your marketing shows people like, look, this is who you are, main character energy, and this is how this is going to help you go throughout your day and continue to hold your main character energy. People are like, yes, thank you. I need that. Now, when you come in and you say, oh, this is the solution and this is the main character, people don't want to be told they're a side character for someone else. They want to be the main character. So when you come through with this narrative, like a battery for your phone, you're like, mm-hmm. Hey, you're about to do a 22-hour marathon meeting, partying around the city with your friends. Yeah. What's going to keep you connected? This battery.
Yeah, that's it right there.
And you're like, oh, I totally need that. Even if I only do a 22-hour day once per quarter.
Or you can throw it at a stalker.
Or you can throw it at a stalker. Yeah. God forbid you go to the wrong event. Yeah. They let crazy people in there. If the prime minister did not do a psych eval on his team, you cannot tell people where you're going.
That's right.
But
so being not the try not to make your brand the main character, but making being the side character. I love it.
Yeah, like my software, my book, I'm not the main character that's coming in, and I'm not Superman coming in to save your company. Mm-hmm. You're Superman. And here's exactly how to build your cape.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's so smart. And that type of thing makes so much sense when you hear it. And I think it is such a path for marketers to go down. But I think that it's so easy to forget when you get into the minutia of this 90-day cycle of creating content or whatever it may be. Looking at different metrics or whatever. But I think that is the framework. Like that is the way we should be thinking about the content we create, for sure.
When you as a marketer are working with someone, they need to know that you believe that their company has what it takes to succeed. Mm-hmm. And that can't happen when you're saying, look at me and how cool I am.
Yeah.
That happens when you say, look at what you've done and look at where we can go next.
Yes.
Like you have to be the mentor in their.
Yeah, it's funny because you're kind of saying that in your content, you should create this feeling of partnership between you and the consumer. And at the same time, you're saying we should look for partners to distribute our message. So you're really kind of doing one and the same with both actions.
Yeah, everything's a team sport. Everything's a team sport. Everything is. And when someone says it's not, I very quickly excuse myself. People who think that there should only be like one star in the show, it's that their bank account usually has $10 in it. Like that's not how the world is built. That's not, yeah. You need both Michael Phelps and Michael Jordan for all sports fans to be entertained.
All the Michaels, Michael Jackson, you need them all. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's funny, they're all Michael. There's someone should study that. Like Michael from all these different domains was the top guy. Like, how did that happen?
Yeah. We should all be naming our first son Michael.
Yeah, right. Okay, well, as we wrap up here, this has been a great conversation, as I knew it would. I want to kind of just walk through some of the things that you are involved in, and you can talk about them to the extent you want to. You have a podcast, 9x90.
Yeah.
What's that all about?
One of my marketing clients wanted to go on a podcast years ago, like 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And someone said, little girl, you are never going to get her on a podcast. And I was like, challenge accepted.
Yeah, exactly. Don't tell me I can't do anything.
I was like, how hard could it be to produce a podcast?
Mm-hmm.
So I bought the microphone, the recording equipment, all of that. I looked at what Tim Ferriss had done because, why not copy Tim Ferriss? He's always landed a good spot.
He's the master.
Yeah. It's like, he knows what he's doing. So got a list of questions and then had them on the show. And then I was like, well, who do I have on the show next? Because I have to increase the amount of listeners.
Yeah.
So then I went to Quora and I asked people to come on the show.
Yeah.
And this guy who wrote 27 movies for PBS.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, you're a cute young kid. I'll help you out. I'll come on your show.
Yeah.
So that's how I ended up with this like massive producer of PBS coming on the show next. And then after that, one of my friends who's a venture capitalist in California was like, you got him on your show? I want to come on.
There you go.
So then it became this thing that sort of just spiraled. And I don't know if you've noticed it with your show too. It's like, every time you have like a big player on, like more big players then want to be on there.
It's funny how that works.
Yeah.
It's, again, exclusivity.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we had an issue because no one wanted to sponsor the shows because they were like all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I was paying out of pocket for these shows to be done. And then they were helping other people's companies grow and they were costing me time and money and they were just like a money suck for me. So then I started hating the show because it became like an overpriced hobby.
Yeah.
And I like discontinued it for a while and people were like, why'd you stop your show? And so I realized like I needed to restructure it and draw some healthy boundaries so that it could be something that I found joy in that was beneficial for me and them. So that's when we stopped taking everyone on and started saying, okay, either if you invest in real estate or if you have real estate investment opportunities above this mark, we'll have you on the show.
Yep.
And that's kind of, so that way it was able to become something that was beneficial for what we're doing in the real estate space with the real estate fund.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah. And so
what's the name? Where'd you come up with the name?
Oh, 9x90. Mm-hmm. Okay. So this is really dumb. You know how some people impulse buy shoes or like random.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So like people like impulse shop like shoes or handbags or things like that.
Let me guess. Domain names. I am too one of those.
Anytime a .com less than 7 characters would become available, I bought it. Yep. And then people are like, how did you name that company? And I'm like, because it had the domain name.
Because you're like, I have this Rolodex of domain names that I have to use one of them.
Yeah, exactly. And then people are like, wow, all your company names are like so easy to remember. It was like, yes.
Well, it makes a lot of sense because it's real estate. It's like virtual real estate. And the fact that you're in real estate, that maps. And for that, let's talk about Heritage. Tell us about your investment fund.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So my family's been in the real estate space since 1904.
5th generation.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So when my great-great-grandmother came to the U.S., she opened like a general store.
Mm-hmm. And
people were like, women can't run businesses. And she's like, thank you for your feedback. But I have a business to run.
That's the first Google review.
Step aside. Yeah.
First ever Google or Yelp review.
She's like, yeah, so could you please step aside? And they're like, no, but you can't run a business. And she's like, do you need anything translated? They're like, what? She's like, I speak 7 languages.
Uh-huh.
So the deal was that if someone wanted anything translated, they'd buy something in the store.
Yeah, I love it.
And so then she started getting all these customers because they needed documents translated into 7 languages.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of those like asymmetrical warfare marketing tactics. Like, no, she's not advertising hot dogs or sandwiches. No. She's advertising translation services.
Yes.
So she ended up, just with that alone, she ended up buying 13 single family homes that were around her. And when each of her children got married, they got one of those homes.
Okay.
So she had that rental income. And then she had 3 general stores.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So
that's a lot of translating.
What?
That's a lot of translating.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of translating and pretty well for a woman who's not allowed to work.
Yes, exactly. Well, that's a pretty awesome kickoff to now multiple generations after.
Yeah, that. So she set the bar very high, very high.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of interesting, like when people are like, Adi, what's driving you? Or like, you don't think you've achieved enough. It's time to calm down. And like, you don't understand what my great-great-grandmother did when there was like
DNA,
no technology.
DNA.
Like, I'm not even like close to what she's achieved.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then with Heritage, I built the software company. I was in the software space. The software company had 7 attempted hostile takeovers. And I was like just burnt out and exhausted. And my father was like, you have every connection that anyone would ever want in the real estate space. Why don't you come home to where you belong?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was, in January, I met one of the top real estate attorneys from Manhattan.
Okay.
And he said, launch a fund. I'll help you out. And he became like my older brother that I now go to for advice on everything. And it's funny because people now actually think that we're siblings, and I'll like walk into a real estate event and they're like, oh, you do look like your older brother. And I'm like,
yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, he like I was like, I don't know. I don't have the right mentors. I don't have the right advisors when I have questions. And so then like a bunch of like my father's friends and like my godfather's friends like stepped in and they were like, whatever you don't know, we'll help you learn. So I was able to level up so fast compared to what I would be doing in the software industry where I don't have the same like high level contact.
Yeah.
But then my husband and I have been investing on ourselves for a decade.
Okay.
So we do have, it's not like we don't have any track record ourselves. Like I'm just stepping in blind. And then when I offered to start speaking on stages, people really loved the headline of 5th generation investor because it's so rare, because everyone's like, oh yeah, everyone's a fund manager. And so then when they're able to say like, oh, multi-generational, her parents achieved this, her great-great-grandmother achieved this. Like it's become, that's where like I'm the side character, right?
Yeah.
Like they're not advertising me as a human. They're advertising this like persona of me.
The story,
yeah. Where I'm another puppet that goes on their stage. And
that's what that's what people want is the story. They're buying the story, and we love story. And the fact that you have a great one, for you to stand up and provide real value from, that's connected to that story is pretty amazing.
I think something that's helped a lot with my success in the real estate space is because I grew up in it, and starting at age 8, you'll see people that come in that are like, they try to be like a cheap car salesman and like sell you like really crappy deals. And I come in and I like see everyone, I treat everyone like family because to me, most of it is family. And like, well, I wouldn't go in on that deal because of this. And I looked at 200 different deals and these are the 2 I pick. And with me, for my investors, like they're my godfathers. I want to make them proud. I'm not like, there are people who are picking these buildings and they're like, oh, we don't care. Investors can lose a little bit of money. And I'm like, no, I'm not losing my family's, like my godfather's money. I look up to him. I respect him. I value him. Like, so that's also, I think, just having that like authentic wanting to like be a good steward of the people who trust me. That's helped a lot with success. It's not just the track record. It's also because there are other multi-generationals who are kind of jerks, and they're like, well, sometimes I get investors' returns and sometimes I don't. It's like,
yeah, wow. It's a wild world out there, isn't it? Yeah, it's a wild world.
Yeah.
We talked about your book too. So I think I've covered most of the things that you're into. Of all the things you've got going on, what's your favorite? Like, what's the thing that is exciting you the most right now?
So the book is kind of fun because when I walk in, they're like, "Oh, young blonde female, she must be dumb." And so then people, they're like, "Oh, that's so cute. You wrote a book?" And I get to pull out a 450-page book and go, "Yeah, I wrote this one. It was a bestseller." They're like, they do a double take.
Yeah, let's start over.
Yeah, and they're like, I cannot pull the wool on your eyes over your eyes. So that one was kind of fun just because like I no longer have to prove my intellectual capacity. People can now like hold it and see it. But I mean, I've always been passionate about real estate. I think it's the key driver in changing economies. Like, there's a story my parents love to tell of this one developer they used to work with. He bought a building in the center of this gorgeous downtown area, and it was like super family friendly town. The houses all were like very well valued, amazing place. He asked the city to approve him putting a Mercado in there. A Mercado is kind of like you go inside and it's a bunch of little like micro restaurants.
Yeah, like a food hall. Are they?
Yeah,
food hall.
Like a high end food hall. So like instead of McDonald's, it's vodka.
Yeah, I don't mean like a food court. I mean like a market, right? Like a higher end. Yeah,
like a high end. Yeah. So like one person has oysters and one person has wines, and so he wanted to put this in, and they said no.
Okay.
And so they approved him for a commercial tenant. Like retail commercial tenant. So he put a pawn shop in there. The houses that were overlooking what was supposed to be a Mercado, they all had bars on them.
Oh, wow.
Because the people that go to a pawn shop would break into their houses, steal their TVs, steal their Xboxes, steal their jewelry, and sell it at the pawn shop right across the street. The housing, the value of those houses, like these are young couples like working. The houses are life savings. That their value of their houses dropped by like 60-70%. Could you imagine buying a house and it's your life savings and losing 70% of your life savings?
Man,
because one person at city council wanted to upset one developer. That's the power.
That's a local economic lever if there ever was one.
Yeah. And it's like people talk about social responsibility. And I'm like, if you want to talk social responsibility, get into commercial real estate. Like that 100%. Is social responsibility. You are literally deciding if children are going to grow up in a safe neighborhood or not.
Yeah. No, that's very well put. I see that. I mean, I live in a small town like that, and I see the decisions that are made by city, and it's not always good. I mean, when you start putting weed shops downtown, hey, listen, people want to get high and people want to chill out. I get it. But when you got 4 of them downtown now, we don't need 4. We really don't even need 1. It's in the, city center, like where the roads cross. We probably are going the wrong direction.
You need a pancake shop.
We need a pancake shop. And, what I think is we need another like mom and pop diner where, they're in there just sweating, and like giving it their all. Like, that we need more of that. We don't need any more weed shops. If people want weed, they know where to get it.
Yeah.
So,
So you see it. You see exactly why I'm passionate about real estate. It's you're protecting the next generation.
Totally. And you're building a community and you're protecting the community, honestly.
Yeah. You're protecting entire microeconomies.
Yes. Love it. Hey, this has been so much fun. If people want to reach out and get connected with you, where should we send them?
LinkedIn.
Okay.
To the tome.
And it's pretty easy. Adi Soozin, Soozin.
Yes. And I'm the only one because all the other ones died in the Holocaust.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Why am I laughing at that? I mean,
it's dark
it's
humor.
like you said it like a joke, but it's not a joke. Like, that's crazy.
I mean, like 100 years, what is it, 50 years later? The only thing we could do is laugh at like the dark humor of like,
Oh,
yeah, I
wow.
don't have a problem with SEO because of Hitler. Like,
Oh my gosh. Oh, this is wild. This is wild. I think if we keep recording, we're going to go way off the rails.
weed shops and Hitler killing, boosting SEO. Like,
Yeah. Maybe we'll do a BTS episode. Put it on private mode. Thank you so much, Adi. This has been so much fun having you on.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. This was a lot of fun.